It was midnight and I was sitting alone in the dark living room. The TV was off, the city outside was quiet, and the air felt heavy, like something was waiting to happen. My phone was in my hand, my thumb resting on the screen. My brother Rafa had died a week ago. A car accident, sudden, violent, and cruel. I still had his number pinned on top of my chat list. Every night I opened our conversation, stared at it, and closed it again, like pressing on an old wound to make sure it still hurts. Then that night my screen lit up a message from Rafa. It said, "I'm home." I froze. The phone slipped from my hand and landed on the couch. I stared at the name, the profile picture, the same smile, the same face. But he was gone, 7 days, gone buried in the ground. I picked up the phone, my hands shaking, opened the chat, and there it was, just that single line in home timestamp. 12:03 a.m. My eyes moved to the wall clock. Same time, 12:03, but the second hand wasn't moving, like time had stopped and was watching me. I typed, "Who is this?" The message turned blue instantly, and then a reply came, "Open the door, Em." On the stairs, my heart pounded so loud I could hear it in my ears. I turned slowly toward the apartment door. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. I walked closer and looked through the peephole. The stairs were dark, empty. But at the bottom step, there were wet footprints. Fresh ones, glistening under the faint emergency light. It hadn't rained for days. I touched the doorknob. It was freezing like ice. I didn't unlock the chain, just opened the door. A crack, a cold breath brushed across my face. It smelled like rain and soil. My phone buzzed again, a new photo. It was my door, the same number plate, the same little dent in the wood. The picture was taken from the stairs. One step below me, beneath it, the caption, "Open the door." I felt my skin crawl. I typed, "Rafa, what kind of joke is this?" The reply came, "You said, never to leave home." I stared at the words, trying to make sense. Maybe someone hacked the phone. Maybe a glitch. Maybe the police still had his phone. But then I opened my call log. 2 missed calls from his number last night at 2:17 a.m. That was the same time my bedside clock had frozen. I noticed it in the morning. Time had stopped there too. Now both clocks dead. 12:03 and 2:17, like someone had cut my life into pieces. A sound came from the hall, soft, dragging footsteps like wet shoes scraping against concrete. I locked the door tight, turned every light on the room, filled with light. But the rocking chair in the corner was moving gently back and forth. No wind, no sound from outside, the air still. But the chair creaked, like someone had just stood up from it and walked away. My phone buzzed. Turn off the chair, it makes noise. I didn't type anything. It was still typing, then another message. "I'm cold." The air changed, thick, damp, heavy, like the smell of a basement. I pressed my ear to the door. A faint hiss of breath came from the other side. Then silence. I went to the kitchen. I needed water. The glass slipped from my hand and clanged in the sink. The sound echoed loud enough to hurt. Then the phone rang. The ringtone, the one Rafa used to set his favorite song. I picked it up, my voice shaking. "Hello," static, then faint, dragging footsteps. I whispered, "Rafa, where are you?" A shaky breath. Then one word downstairs. The call ended. The basement used to be a laundry room now. Abandoned, the janitor kept it chained. I walked down the corridor. The chain was hanging loose. The lock opened, the air thick with mold. I turned on my flashlight. The beam cut through dust and shadows. There were 2 sets of footprints, one big, one small. The small ones looked exactly like Rafa's sneakers. The big ones were barefoot and wet. I swallowed hard. My phone vibrated. Right side storage room. I turned and saw the words scratched into the door, "Welcome home." The paint peeled away, revealing old, faded letters. "Do not open after 3 a.m. My watch said 12:09. I pushed the door open. Boxes everywhere. An old wooden rocking chair horse in the corner, its paint flaking. Two black eyes drawn with marker staring straight at me on the floor, a new wet footprint. The puddle still spreading. My phone vibrated again. A new picture, the same footprint taken from over my shoulder. I turned. No one there. Just darkness. In the corner, a small unplugged freezer, the cord broken but the surface cold. I lifted the lid inside, no food, just a folded paper. I kept a copy of Home, here under it a tiny metal keychain shaped like a house. Rafa bought one like this years ago. I picked it up. It vibrated like a faint heartbeat. Then I heard scraping above. Someone was coming down the stairs. I turned off the flashlight and held my breath through the crack in the door. I saw a shadow, tall, thin neck bent at a wrong angle, like something once hung there and never healed. It wasn't moving, but it was breathing. I could hear it. The phone buzzed. "Don't run. Bring Home back," I typed. Who the reply came, "You and him." Then another, "The one behind you." I turned. The rocking horse was still, but its eyes had moved. Now they were staring right at me. The shadow stepped closer, each step leaving wet marks on the concrete. The sound of dripping water filled the air. Then a voice, soft, layered, like two voices overlapping a child and a man whispering together, "I'm home." It wasn't Rafa's voice. It was something using his voice. I took a step back. The figure straightened us. I saw its face, or what was left of it. Skin stretched over emptiness holes where eyes should be. Its mouth shimmered with water. It wasn't smiling, but it looked like it raised its hand, and in its palm was the same keychain. Identical to mine, the one in my hand burned. Both pulsed together like two hearts beating. The floor vibrated, the rocking horse screamed. Then a text, "Don't look at it. Keep the chain locked, I'm coming." It was from Rafa. I typed, "You're dead," he replied. "I told you I'd never leave home. Why are you opening the chain?" I said nothing. The shadow moved closer, its feet floating above the ground, leaving small pools that grew, then sank. One droplet rolled to my shoe. It felt like fire and ice. At once it pointed up toward the stairs. Go home I went up, and my apartment door was open, the chain dangling inside, a sound like a reversed lullaby. Humming softly, I stepped in the floor, wet footprints led to my bedroom, the lights were on. Someone sat on the edge of the bed, the outline half human, half mist, shoulders like Rafa's hair, like his. He lifted his head, eyes black, empty but full of sadness. He whispered, "Brother, I'm so tired." Then another arm rose from behind him, long dripping, not human. The thing from the basement had followed. "It was here. What is this?" I whispered. Rafa looked down when I said I wouldn't leave home. He said I left. Half of me here when I died. The other half stayed there. It found something in the dark. Something cold that wanted to belong. It brought me back. Now it wants to stay. Why? Because home needs someone who never leaves. Someone always wet, always cold, always dusk. The shadow crept closer. Water spreading under its feet until it touched mine. I couldn't move. It took the keychain from my hand. The cut in my palm bled, but the blood vanished, soaked into the floor. It merged, both keychains, into one small black shining house. Then it reached under the bed and pulled out a photo frame. Me and Rafa as kids outside our old house. It was raining, and behind the gate in the dark, someone was crouching watching us send me back. Rafa said, "I don't want to stay." I asked how he looked at the shadow. "It keeps me trapped every night. A bell rings at 2:17. I can't wake up. I can only say I'm home. That's how it finds me. That's how it follows you." The shadow scratched a line across the floor, splitting the room in two. My bed one side, the door on the other. It lowered its head. "Choose." Rafa looked up. "If you stay, it keeps both of us. If you let go, maybe one of us can leave." The shadow rippled, water dripping from its hands. My phone buzzed a draft message. "Leave the chain open after 3 or home stays." Half the wall clock showed 3:03. The second hand frozen again. Rafa's voice shook. "Brother, you told me home smells like sunlight, where clothes dry slow and warmth lingers. That's what I want, not this place here. Everything smells like water. Everything drowns. I asked, how do I free you? Close the chain you open, he said. Not the one on the door, the one inside. When you stopped me from leaving, you said, if you ever get lost, come home. I chained myself to those words. Now you have to break them. Say it, let me go. The shadow hissed, grabbed Rafa's head. I shouted, Rafa, you're free. Don't come home again. I'm letting you go. It felt like my chest cracked open, but the words escaped like a lock snapping. The shadow staggered back, its form breaking. Light filled the cracks. Rafa's face softened, color returned. He smiled. Thank you, brother. Remember me by the smell of sunlight? Then the shadow screamed. Pipes roared. Walls shook, lights flickered. It threw the keychain to the floor. They shattered. Tiny houses break into dust if you leave home. It hissed, then who owns it? I stared into its hollow face. Home doesn't belong to one. I said it belongs to light. Those who hate light. Their home is the basement, the ocean below. Stay there, the thing lunged. The air burned, its body melted, steam rose, then silence. Rafa stood, glowing faintly, turned at the doorway. Brother, he said, if I come in your dreams, don't be afraid, I just came to say goodbye. Then he smiled and walked away. His footsteps left no water, only warmth. I sat alone, the clock ticking again, 3:14 time. Moving, I filled a glass in the kitchen, the water clear, soft. My phone buzzed, one last message from unknown. I'm home, but this time it added, not yours. I placed it on the table. The bed was dry on the pillow, a small metal roof from the broken keychain. It smelled like sunlight. I put it on the shelf around 4. The pale light of dawn seeped through the curtains. The chain inside me felt unlatched, but the one on the door I hooked. Again, the clock never froze again. Sometimes the basement photo appears in my gallery. I delete it, but it returns in the corner. 2 heads mine and another each time. The second one fades a little more. One night between sleep and waking, I heard laughter. Rafa's voice, distant, soft, I'm home. He said then quietly, finally, and I understood. Home is not where we lock the chain. It is the word we set free when we do. The darkness goes back to where it belongs, down below in the cold. Since then, when the handle rattles at 12:03, I just whisper, this house belongs to light. The noise stops, the air warms, and I sleep again knowing that if a message ever arrives saying I'm home, it truly means he is, but not mine. And I never have to open the chain again because letting go was the only way home.